Recently, I've been enjoying gaming on ultra-wide OLED monitors with really high refresh rates, so I decided it was time to switch out the TV at my gaming setup with an ultra-wide gaming monitor. For this process, I'll be replacing my 48-inch LG C2 with the new 45-inch LG Ultragear OLED. Alright, here's how it all went down. The first thing I did was dismount the gaming TV. The next thing I did was bring in the replacement ultra-wide gaming monitor. Now, inside the box, there was a two-piece monitor stand with a single screw for a very fast and easy install. Then there was a small remote control with an additional battery, a power adapter, one HDMI and one USB cable, some paperwork, and a cable management piece. The monitor has a thin profile, mostly with the exception of a module in the back where you'll find all the different I/O ports for connecting multiple devices. There's two HDMI 2.1 ports, one DisplayPort 1.4 with DSC, and three USB 3.0 ports, one upstream and two downstream. For sound output, there's a headphone jack with DTS support, as well as an optical port for an external speaker, like a soundbar or something similar. There's also RGB backlighting embedded into the back module of the monitor as well. Behind the monitor, there was a VESA mount, which is great, but wasn't ideal for the TV mount I had on the wall already. Instead of taking off the entire wall mount, I decided to sacrifice access to some of the ports in the back there due to how long the two bars for the wall mount were. I plan on switching the wall mount type later down the line, but for now, it didn't restrict access to any of the ports that I needed. If you decide not to mount the monitor, another option to consider is the provided stand that'll let you adjust the monitor's height, tilt, and rotation. Next thing to do was mount the monitor at the center and reorganize the space. Finally, there was some cable management to do, which is always tricky for a setup like this one where I can't get behind the wall or the desk. I went ahead and cleaned things up as best as I could for now and left it as is. Anyway, the last thing to do was power up the PC and watch the gaming setup come to life. The first things I did after booting up the PC was make sure that the maximum resolution and refresh rates were both selected to fully maximize the new monitor. I also had to make sure that HDR was turned on to increase that picture quality even further. Alright, let's check out the final results, starting with the biggest change I made: the switch from a gaming TV to a gaming ultra-wide. Now, the TV I had prior to the switch was the LG C2, which also happens to be one of the best gaming TVs I've ever used. It also has a few limitations when it comes to PC gaming, like the maximum 120Hz refresh rate, or even just having no display ports. Essentially, I found that the RTX 4090 GPU in my PC wasn't being maximized well enough by the C2, so I decided to try something different. After gaming on different monitors at a much higher refresh rates than 120Hz, I decided to switch to a monitor with a very sharp 45-inch 800R curve and an OLED display. Even though the maximum resolution is 3440 by 1440, gameplay still looked amazing with the OLED panel it came equipped with. The curved screen is also surrounded by some really thin bezels, which is nice to have for more immersiveness. The picture quality on the monitor's display is also pretty amazing, especially during gameplay. The self-emitting OLED panel also means perfect blacks, true to life, and super accurate colors. That 800R screen curvature is perfect for reducing distortion, as well as creating that immersive wraparound feeling while gaming. The monitor also has a 21:9 native aspect ratio, which most gaming consoles might not be able to maximize, but the right gaming PC definitely will. From my experience, the screen doesn't get very bright in SDR mode, but with HDR turned on, it can get up to 1000 nits max with the right settings enabled. With HDR on as well, everything looks a lot better, especially while you're gaming. The OLED panel comes equipped with MLA technology, which allows the OLED panel to get even brighter. It's certainly not as bright as the LG G3, for example, which comes with the same technology, but you can definitely tell that it's a lot brighter than most conventional OLED panels. The monitor also uses something called Auto Brightness Limiter, which is supposed to help in automatically adjusting brightness of the picture on the screen during gameplay. The C2 I had there before also uses an OLED panel, but it was very reflective due to the glossy screen it came with. The replacement ultra-wide monitor comes with the same OLED panel from LG Display, but with MLA technology and also an anti-glare coating for low reflections. The gaming setup is located inside a closet right next to a really large window in the room, which I usually open up sometimes during the day. Having that anti-glare coating on the monitor's display has made gaming during the day more enjoyable now than it was before. I found that OLED displays with glossy screens and no anti-reflective coating are best used in rooms with less possibility for light reflections. The monitor comes with a maximum refresh rate of 240 Hz, which the 4090 GPU inside my PC can now exploit for a much smoother and more precise gameplay experience. This, alongside the 0.03 milliseconds response time of the OLED panel, are now going to be huge benefits when playing first-person shooters or even car racing games. Also keep in mind that the input lag on the monitor is very low, so the overall gaming experience is very reactive. The ultra-wide monitor also comes equipped with LG's Game Bar, which you'll tend to find on most of their TVs and monitors geared towards gaming. The Game Bar provides quick access to a lot of gameplay information and settings, which I've always loved even on the C2 I had before. It displays information like the current FPS count, HDR and VRR status, as well as any other thing that's important during gameplay. It also provides quick access to settings that can enhance gameplay, video, and audio quality, amongst other things. There's a jog dial underneath the center of the monitor that can be very inconvenient to use. The provided remote control, on the other hand, is so small and takes up very little space on the desk. It provides quick access to volume and brightness controls, as well as a bunch of other different things. The gaming PC which I've got connected to the monitor is one I built mainly for gaming, and I built it inside of a Lian Li LanCool 3 case, if you're wondering. It's got some really beefy specs which the C2 wasn't able to fully maximize. Like I mentioned earlier, there's an RTX 4090 GPU in there to maximize gaming, and also Intel's 13th gen i9 CPU. There's also 64 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM and 3 terabytes of SSD storage, so I'll say it's pretty solid. For cooling, it uses a combination of water and fans, and there's a bit of RGB lighting in there for some aesthetics as well. I haven't found any well-optimized game that the PC can't run at high graphics settings yet, so I'm sure pushing games at close to 240 frames per second at the monitor's maximum resolution definitely wouldn't be an issue. The fact that I use an NVIDIA GPU also means the PC can utilize G-Sync on the monitor. The monitor also comes equipped with FreeSync Premium for AMD GPUs, and what you need to know is that both variable refresh rate technologies are higher grade for synchronizing the GPU signal with the monitor's refresh rate, preventing screen tearing in the process. For the rest of the setup, I kept pretty much every accessory the same, with a few minor changes in where they were placed. I kept the same gaming keyboard and mouse combo I had there, which were the Logitech G915 TKL and the G Pro X Superlight. The G915 is a 10 keyless keyboard, meaning no number pad, making it super compact. It also has RGB backlighting and can be fully customized using Logitech's G Cloud gaming software. I have it connected to the PC through the provided USB dongle, but it's also got a Bluetooth and a wired mode. The G Pro X Superlight is still the lightest gaming mouse I've ever used. Matter of fact, the lightest mouse I've used, period. It's very minimal with only 2 customizable buttons on one side, and also connects to the PC through a USB dongle, which works great for no latency. I've got both accessories as well as a remote control for the monitor sitting on a large gray felt mat, which I also had there before the switch. I decided to move the Xbox controller and fast charger to the center of the desktop since there's now a lot of space under there. I also use a USB dongle here to pair the controller with my PC, as I found that it's a lot more reliable than Bluetooth for maintaining a stable wireless connection. Next to the controller and the charger, there's the Elgato Stream Deck, which provides access to quick action buttons for software I use all the time, and that's always been very useful, so I kept that there as well. To the far left, I've got the HyperX Quadcast mic, which I've kept in the same spot that it was before the switch. It works great for the times when I need a mic in there, so I'm keeping it at the desk setup. To the far right, there's the same headset and stand combo from the previous setup, which I've got connected to the PC through a USB dongle as well. One of my favorite features of the Corsair HS80 is that it comes with a built-in mic that can easily be tucked away when not in use. I've had them for a while now and never had any issues with comfortability or battery life, even when using them for really long sessions. At the end of the switch, I was already noticing improvements to my gaming experience at the closet setup, simply due to the fact that the PC specs can now be maximized by the gaming monitor. Now, don't get me wrong, the C2 is still a really good gaming TV, but I found that TVs are best used with gaming consoles since they have better matching specs like that maximum FPS and the fact that they only come equipped with an HDMI port. Anyway, that's pretty much everything I've got for this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching the process. More information on the LG Ultragear 45-inch OLED or any of the other accessories from this setup can be found down in the description below. Maybe I'll catch you in my next video. If not, thank you for watching. It's Tommy, and I'm out, y'all.